We are Onyx Imaging. We are the highest rated and most reviewed printer service center in Oklahoma.
Hi, my name is John with Onyx Imaging. Today we're going to take a look at this HP 4000 and show you common causes of paper jams and where to locate them and how to try to prevent them from happening. So the most common causes for paper jams are actually all going to be found in the paper tray. So we'll remove the paper tray. One of the most common causes is just a regular maintenance issue, as if your rollers are actually dirty or worn and they're time to be replaced. So if they are, they're really easy to locate if you're not sure if they're worn or need to be replaced. There's one right at the front of the print or the paper drawer. If you start to see it smooth or kind of glossy, it's definitely time to be replaced. There should be some kind of a texture on it. And there's actually a couple more located underneath the printer. And again, those should be nice and textured. They shouldn't be smooth or worn or anything like that. And if you need to replace them, they're really simple to replace. In this case, there's a little tab in the front here, and you push down on, there's a little handle on the side of the roller, and you just pinch it down. You can slide it off and then put it back on, or replace it if you have a new one, making sure that it clicks fully into place. And the same thing for the one inside the printer. Another common cause of paper jams is paper being put inside the paper drawer and incorrectly. So it should, anytime you put paper in, the paper should be nice and square on all four sides. You shouldn't have any paper overlapping anywhere or curled up. A lot of times if you're trying to stick a full ream of paper into a printer and if there's a little bit of paper at the bottom, it's not uncommon to see the little bit of paper pull up and kind of fold over the back, and that can cause the paper to be way too tight inside the paper drawer, and it's not going to pull through the printer properly. So it's always best just to make sure that there's no paper curled on any side. All four sides should be nice and square, and that everything's set in there correctly. The next common cause to find, or cause for paper jams, is if any of the adjustments on the paper drawer are set incorrectly. So in this case we're using standard lettered paper, which is 8.5 by 11. So you want to make sure that all your settings are for a standard letter sheet paper. So it should be set for 8.5 by 11 or on letter. And you want to make sure that they're right on the indications for their paper size. They're not a little bit over, not a little bit under. Otherwise it can cause the tray to be too tight or too loose, and again, it's not going to pull the paper through the printer properly. And the last one would be, again, I've mentioned putting a full ream of paper in, just because nobody likes to stop in the middle of a print job and have to add more paper to the printer. And so I know it's really tempting to just grab a full ream and try to shove it in there and close the printer. However, it is possible to overfill the paper drawer. And if you put too much paper in, again, it makes it too tight for the paper feed assembly to pull the paper through the printer. So you want to make sure, it's always a good general rule of thumb to leave about a 1/4 inch of space at the top of, even though you might be able to fit it in there, it's going to make sure that you're not getting any paper jams because the paper's too tight inside the paper drawer. Alright, so now put that back in. And as far as paper jams, the common places you're going to find them, occasionally you'll find them sticking out the bottom of the paper drawer, but that's really kind of rare on this model. You will locate them occasionally underneath the cartridge, inside this top cover. And it's very important to kind of keep in mind which direction the paper moves through the printer, which in this case, the paper is actually going to kind of come up about the middle here, move back, and then come back out the top of the printer. And that's important because whenever you're removing a jammed piece of paper, it's always best practice to try to, when possible, try to remove the paper in the direction the paper will normally move through the printer, so that if there are any sensors or anything along that path, the paper's not going to catch and snag anything. You could potentially break something if you pull the paper the wrong way. So try to remember which way the paper goes through the printer. Again, it kind of comes up here in the front, moves to the back, and then comes back out the top. So that kind of gives you a general idea as far as which way to pull the paper depending on where you find that paper jam. So if you find it right at the front of the paper drawer or underneath the toner, you're going to want to pull straight up and come towards the back. Another common place to find it is actually in the back of the printer towards the fuser. If you find a jammed piece of paper back here, again, you're going to want to remove it straight out the back. You're not going to want to pull from inside the printer and back out. You can really damage something if you do that. Other than that, those are the most common places to find paper jams and how to prevent them. If you have any questions or concerns, please give us a call. Other than that, you should be good to go and back up printing. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. If you're interested in how you can receive free labor on all of your service calls, as well as how to qualify for free printer upgrades, contact us today. We are here for all of your printer and office supply needs.